Hi, my name's Jeff. I built my own house, not because I wanted to, but because I had to. I hope you'll stick around because I'm going to tell you why that was, and then I'm going to tell you how I did it. Okay, here is the short story. My wife wanted to move to the country, and I got very quickly acquainted with that idea. So we sold our house at the beach, bought a piece of property, and started renting while we figured out how we were going to build our house. We found a set of house plans on America's Best House Plans, or houseplans.net. A 3,500 square foot house. This is what it looks like, and this is what the floor plan looked like. We took this to a local home designer. We gave some instruction regarding some modifications. We also asked them to make any adjustments necessary for our local municipality's codes. It's very likely that if you purchase plans on the internet, you'll have to have somebody who understands local municipality codes make adjustments to your plans. After we were happy with the plans, we took them to somebody who could build a site plan for us. And the difference of the site plan and the house plans is the site plan shows how the home is going to sit on the property, as well as marking anything important like ditches, trees, landscaping, utilities, and so forth. At this point, my wife and I actually did hire a builder who we would shortly thereafter terminate our relationship with, and I would take the project over myself. To be upfront, I can't share my experience with the permitting process because I didn't handle that part of the job. The purpose of this video is to share my experience of building the house myself. I do want to say that firing the builder was not easy. I liked the guy personally very much. In the end, we got so much more house than we would have if we had to give the builder the percentage that he had quoted. You can expect to pay the building cost plus 15 or 20% of whatever that cost is. So there is a lot of money that homeowners can save by doing the job themselves. As far as what type of person can practically build their own house, I'm not going to make any judgments here, but what I will tell you is about my life and why I thought that I could do this. And the first thing is I have a very flexible job. I own my own business. I can work from my house. I can work at a coffee shop if necessary, and I was able to spend time on the job site, and I did not let any of my clients down, and I did not neglect any of my business responsibility. Next, I am certainly not a handy guy. I struggle with wall anchors. I've never installed a dishwasher. I don't like to do these things and mess them up around my house. However, I do have an industrial background. I know how to read a tape measure, and I felt that I could take to the terminology and how things go on a job site fairly easily. Now, while I am not afraid of confrontation, I have a fairly even temperament, and you don't have to scrape me off the ceiling if something minor goes wrong. There were some situations where I had to have uncomfortable conversations, but those had to be had. In the end, everything worked out. I'm not going to talk about financing in this overview video. Towards the end of this series, I'm going to do a summary where I talk about some of the biggest headaches, and financing, unfortunately, was a stressful situation. I also say in the intros to these videos that I didn't want to do this, I had to. And it kind of was something that I felt I had to do, not just something that I thought I could do myself. We saw crazy inflation, especially with building materials, particularly lumber. Now here's a chart for the lumber commodity. You'll notice right off the bat that this is a volatile period. It stays relatively stable. It dips when COVID hits and then starts to shoot up. And that's because they couldn't keep up with the supply. Comes back down and then goes all the way up to $750 per thousand board feet. That's an all-time high. And then some more dipping, comes back up, goes back down, and we bought as it was coming back down the second time. We avoided the worst of it for sure. Now, we bought it right around August, September of 2022. So we avoided the worst of it. I bring up the lumber because it was such a large expense, but similar price volatility happened in other areas. Lumber was certainly the worst, but you saw problems with drywall, copper pipe, and other materials that are needed in the construction of a home. So the basic point of this is that our budget, which was very manageable before COVID hit, became unmanageable. And we didn't really have a choice. And we had sold our house. We were living in rentals. They were suboptimal. I had to build a place for my family to live. Okay, so that's the overview video. The next video is going to be on the foundation, and I'll try to get it up in a couple days. Thanks for watching.